This is how to create groups in your Google contacts to make sharing documents and also inviting people to events a little bit easier. So you have to start off in your Google contacts, which is actually a little bit of a separate spot to get to. So once you've logged into your Google account, you want to go up to your little menu of Google Apps. And usually underneath the calendar one is where you're going to find this one, which is contacts. So right now, in your school account, you might not have any contacts listed. Although you can find people when you're searching to share something, they're not actually listed in your contacts list. So you are going to have to add them manually. So what I've done is I've gotten started here, and I'm using our friends in the Whelks as an example. So what I've done over here is added one contact. I added Colin to start with, and I'm going to also add Carla Frisbee because I know how to spell both of their names off the top of my head. So that's what I'm doing today. So what you're going to want to do is actually create a group. You could do it first or you could do it afterwards. It honestly doesn't matter that much. But instead of the word groups, they use the word label. So I think that's a little bit of a funny terminology, almost maybe a little misleading. But over here on the left where it says labels, think of that as creating little email groups for yourself. So it's really simple to create one. You just go to create label and you just simply give it a name and that's it. So you could just make one for your team. That might be the first thing you would want to do. So I already made one for the Whelks team, and this would just be for me. This wouldn't be in every single Whelks person's contact list. This is just your own personal contact list. You can edit them. You can rename them. You could also delete them. So I have one person added there, and now I'm going to go ahead and add somebody else. So I'm going to create another contact. And you can create multiple contacts. So if you have a Excel list or a list in Sheets, you can actually just upload all of them. So you could have a little spreadsheet and just, if you hit create multiple, you're going to be able to just upload it, which would be really easy. You could add them this way, or you could come down here to import and just upload the entire list from a Sheets or an Excel file. So if you have that already done, or you can pre-create that, that would be a really fast way to do it. In the meantime, I'm just going to create an individual contact. So I'm going to just type in the name. And to make this a little bit faster too, we all have the same handle at ELPS K-12. So you could just if you save it before, which is what I did. I copied it and now I can just paste it. Oops, I did too much of it. It actually accidentally copied the whole name. But if you just copy the handle, you can just paste it over and over again instead of having to retype it. And that's all you need. You don't have to fill in everything else. You just need the first and last name and their email address. And that's all you need to do. Now up here, it says that there's no label. They're not in a group. So you just select that and you can select the label you want them to be in and hit save. So similarly, if you ever want to take them out of a group, so, of course, sometimes people move teams. I'll show you if you hit save, you can always edit that. So if you edit it, you can always take this label off. You can just unclick it and they would not be in that group anymore. So that's always something that's a possibility. You can always edit and change things. So I'm going to hit save. So now I'm not going to add everybody in the Whelks team. I just wanted to at least have 2 people in it as an example. You can see it here. If you, of course, if you create somebody, you forgot to add a label, you can edit them. You also have the ability to select them and just move them. You can drag people over to the right label. So there's a few different ways. It's really easy. But where this comes in handy is, especially as a team, if you're finding that you're sharing documents a lot, I'm going to go up to a document that I opened previously. When you hit send, now instead of having to type out everybody's email address or looking for everybody individually, I now can just type the name of my group. And you'll see it says Whelks to contacts, and I can just put them in right there. What's nice is that it does put everybody in here individually. So if there's somebody who doesn't need to have the document, you can erase them from things. So I could, if I didn't want Carla to have this, I could just delete it. So if you were sending something to like everybody but one person on your team, I know that probably doesn't happen frequently, but let's say we were planning a surprise party for Colin. We wouldn't want him to get any of the emails or documents about it. It would be faster to just type in the Whelks team and then just delete the person you didn't want to. Same thing now with the calendar. So if you were creating an event, or some type of meeting, if you're creating a Google Meet, and for add guests, you can just go ahead and start typing in your group name. So it just saves you a little bit of time, makes things a little bit easier. Similarly, if you are somebody who's conferencing with a lot of the same parents, you could put those people into your Google Contacts individually. You can make groups if you wanted to, and that way, when you're creating something here and you start typing in a parent name, the email address will just come up and pop up, kind of like it does when you're doing something for the teachers. So that's just a quick tip that can save you a little bit of time down the line. If you have any questions, just let me know.